Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. Your source for Ford news update and information, including your scheduling information on a Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are having a great Tuesday and you're looking forward to this week. And this video is really for those people that have an order they've placed with their local dealer and they're hoping to get it scheduled for a production date, and they're just waiting for that moment, and they're watching these videos to kind of get some information on whether or not that chance is going to happen this week for them. So if you like videos like this or some of our other content videos, lots of news updates and a lot of information from our Maverick Monday video series versus our Built Wild Wednesday Bronco Sport video series, or our Super D Saturday video series, you probably find some good content if you like Ford vehicles. Make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of these videos. All right, let's dive in. First, we like to cover some of the terminology. And again, this video is really for those people out there that do have a scheduled or an order that is placed with their local dealer, and they're curious on what's going on, maybe why it's taken so long, maybe what their chances are to get scheduled this next week. And so let's go through some of the terminology. And for those of you that are in this, please wait and go through this, because there's something that's very important, because a lot of people ask me week in and week out, and I love having all those questions. It really does help the video get boosted out there for YouTube, but it does come down to allocations. So if a dealer doesn't have allocation, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to get scheduled. So that's one of the big things, is making sure that your orders at a dealer that's getting those allocations. And those smaller dealers, U300s, they are, Ford is making sure that those smaller dealers do get allocations to schedule those retail orders. It may take a little while. It may not be in that first month you order or whatever, but once they've seen that order in there, they want to make sure they fulfill it, and they will go ahead and eventually honor those U300 dealers to take care of those retail orders. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. But let's get into terminology. So the order bank is where those orders are placed, both stock and retail orders. A retail order is that customer placed order. That's you that are watching this. A stock order that's an order that a dealer puts in there if they don't have a lot of retail orders and but they get allocations, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They will need to fulfill and have that lot of inventory will come out of that stock ordering. Now, a priority code, that is a priority that's given by the dealer to those orders. A retail order, a customer placed order, can be anything from a 03 to 19. The default in the system is a 19, but the dealer can move that around and give it a higher priority, especially if if they didn't get scheduled the first couple of weeks. They may want to prioritize that one, and they might move that to 03. Now, 20 to 80 is for stock. So the lower the better. So, of course, that's why retail orders are looked at before a stock order for scheduling. Now, scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future months. So we're talking about what's going to happen this Thursday for scheduling of orders for those production dates in the future. And the production date is when Ford plans to build your order. That date can move around a little bit, but typically it's going to stay within that. The first gets scheduled to the week, and then as it gets closer, it'll get scheduled to one day within that week. Now, allocations. Now, I mentioned that earlier. Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank. A dealer earns those allocations from their sales of each model within their region. So they're kind of divided up, and actually they've moved that to within the state. So the state will get so many allocations of each model, and then they'll divide those based on the sales of each dealer within that state. Constraints, that is where there may be an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build, will cause a constraint and take longer to get it scheduled. Now, capacity, that's the planned production rate of a certain given motor, trim, and option. So between the constraint and capacity, you have a certain capacity that they can build these things. The constraint comes in is when there's more orders than your capacity. Job 1 and 2, now Ford will split the production into different job runs. That allows them to be able to introduce different special features or make some changes in some things if they need to, based on the suppliers being able to give them what they need. Balance out, that is the end of production or the balance out. When we get into the summer, we'll hear more about some of these units balancing out and ready to switch over and that kind of thing, but that isn't happening quite yet. So hopefully that makes some sense. And we are going to go break down these. There's timestamps down below to move around for this, but hopefully everybody did watch that part of it, especially if they're new to these videos. So that kind of helps out. First, let's talk about, and I'm going to put my glasses on for this, the 25 model year Mustang. There's currently 1,032 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Mustang. we actually have zero unscheduled orders in our order bank for Mustangs. And they are, looks like the order banks are open up still, and they are scheduling this week. It is retail scheduling only. So for us, we have 9 allocations. 8 of those are going to be for regular Mustangs and 1 dark horse. And since we have 0 unscheduled retail orders, we won't have any of our Mustang allocations used this week. So the dealer would need a retail order to get it scheduled. So not a lot information here. Just says please look at the national discount packages are available on the order guide for different package codes for dealers. But they are scheduled for the weeks of June 2nd to the weeks of June 23rd. All right. Next up is a 25 model year Escape. There's currently 439 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. We currently only have 2 in ours. The order banks are open up, and they are scheduling this week. Retail scheduling only, of course. So that's great luck for those 2 people at our dealership that have orders in there. They are scheduled for the weeks of June 2nd to the weeks of June 23rd. And it looks like we do get 2 allocations this month to cover those 2 unscheduled orders we have, which is nice. All right. That's it for Escape. 25 model year Bronco Sport. There's currently 262 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. At Law McArthur, we have 0, and I'm going to start doing that, I think, and letting you guys know we have 0 unscheduled retail orders in our order bank. Order banks are open up, and we actually are getting 9 allocations this month, which is really nice. And this week is going to be retail scheduling only, and they actually open up. They have, normally we'd be moving to those June production dates, but it does say they are scheduling for the weeks of May 5th to the weeks of June 16th. So there are a few slots that they can fill in with production based on certain things that they have availability on. And it does say, of course, retail scheduling only this week, but they are doing dressing period for the OTD stock orders. So for dealers, if you have allocations and you don't have retail orders, you put in, there's certain configurations that they want you to schedule by. They only let you do so many of each trim level. And so they're taking care of that this week for those, because this week is only retail only. All right. And then they are needing some Badlands Sasquatch package vehicles to finish out their June job 2 schedule. This is the balance out, you should say, I would say, of job 2. And they will have a 3rd job run for the Bronco Sport before they finish out the model year. Limited availability for the convenience package. That's option 96P, as in Paul. Also limited availability for the all-season tire, that 225/65 R17 that we see. That's a tire T7Q that we see as standard on pretty much almost all the Bronco Sports except for your like Sasquatches. And then also the 1.5 liter EcoBoost is limited availability. So that's great news if you have a Badlands order out there. Also, option 96T, which is the Outer Banks Tech package, is limited availability. And then you're also limited availability for the Big Ben, the Standard Badlands, and your Heritage. And so there you go. And actually, that's a note from last week, so that might be different. So, all right. That's it for Bronco Sport. Next up is a 25 model year Bronco. Currently 1,027 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Not that many. We have 5 unscheduled orders in our system, including 1 manual. And the order banks are open up right now, so you can order. And looks like we do have, for this month, we'll have 6 allocations, 5 regular Broncos and 1 Raptor allocation. And we have 0 Raptor orders. So somebody wants to get a Raptor from us, invoice pricing, we could do that. Probably get it scheduled this week if you ordered it. All right, because they are scheduled this week for the Bronco for the weeks of 6/2 through 6/23, and it is scheduling only for retail versions and Raptors and strop orders. So there you go. So, and there's no note in here, but I do know they're going to start scheduling manual transmissions finally. So those of you that have a manual transmission order, now there's 369 of you nationally. Capacity on that is 3%. So probably will take 2 months to get most of those scheduled. Just be aware of that. If you don't get scheduled this month, it's not because there's something wrong with your order. It's just the fact that you have a manual transmission more than likely. So, all right. Next up is the 25 model year Mustang Mach-E. Currently 293 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. We have 3 unscheduled retail orders in our order bank with 3 allocations this month. And then we do, the order banks are open up. They are scheduling this week for the weeks of 6/2 through 6/23. Retail scheduling only. It means they won't schedule any stocks. They are needing some select version orders without the optional 19-inch monochromatic high gloss black painted wheel, which is option 64N. So they will have a easier chance of getting scheduled. And it does say in here that dealers should be strongly encouraged to remove the sport appearance package from their premium versions if they want to use their allocations. So like last week, I think we had an allocation that didn't get used. And I think it was because we maybe had a sport appearance package on there. But if your customer wants it, they want it. So that's the way it is. But if you're needing to schedule, you don't have a retail order, they're saying you want to use those allocations for your stock, take that off, which makes sense. All right, next up is a 25 model year Explorer. Currently 1,217 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. We have 0 unscheduled Explorer orders in our order bank. We do have 5 allocations this month, and the order banks are open up right now to place an order. They are doing retail scheduling only this week for the weeks of June 2nd to the weeks of June 23rd. All right. Okay. And then next up is a 25 model year Expedition. There's currently 1,590 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. We actually have 6 unscheduled retail orders, and we only get 2 allocations this month. So not everybody will get scheduled with us that has one. Order banks are open up. They want to place an order. It is retail scheduling only. So they are scheduled for the weeks of June 2nd to the weeks of June 23rd. And just keep in mind this month for Expedition, I do remember this, no active, and I believe no platinums unless they have the stealth appearance or stealth performance package on those orders. That's if I remember right. It does say exhaust availability for the 20-inch by 8.5-inch ebony bright machine aluminum wheel, as well as the 18-inch by 8.5-inch dark alloy painted aluminum wheel. So I believe those 2 wheels, one of them is your active wheel and the other is your standard platinum wheel, I believe. So, and then limit availability for the 20-inch by 8.5-inch carbonized gray bright machine aluminum wheel. Actually, that one might be your standard one. And then also the 24-inch by 9.5-inch tarnished dark metallic. That's your platinum ultimate package one. So you can see because of the wheels is probably why that platinum ultimate, standard platinum, as well as your active are constrained. So there you go. All right. Next up is a 25 model year Maverick. There's currently only 2,824 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. We only have 7 unscheduled retail orders in our order bank with 15 allocations this month, which is good. So they should all get scheduled. The order banks are open up right now, and they are scheduled this week. Retail scheduling only for the weeks of May 5th to the weeks of June 16th. So they do have some slots in May that they can fulfill. And most of those are front wheel drive, I believe, because it does say they need some front wheel drive orders. And very limited exhaust availability for the trimmer and the part-time drive, which it actually does say in here it's the all-wheel drive. So they're saying part-time all-wheel drive. So not the trimmer all-wheel drive or the Lobo all-wheel drive, but your other all-wheel drive. So basically, that's why they need front-wheel drives. So there you go. And I did hear that we did mention last week on our live stream, no trimmer or Lobo is going to get scheduled for the month of May. Or June, I mean, sorry. But since they have some open slots, you might see some still get scheduled this week. So if they do, you can't say, Tim, you were wrong. They're scheduled as long as they schedule for June. June production will be no Lobos and no Tremors. All right, moving on. 25 model year Ranger. There's currently 604 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. We have 2 unscheduled regular Rangers and 19 unscheduled Raptors. Order banks are open up for that. We do have 2 regular Ranger allocations, and we got 0 Raptor allocations for those who have a Raptor with us. So all I can do is apologize. We were told one thing and a different thing is happening from Ford. So we were told take the orders, you'll get your allocations, and that's not happening. So I don't know what else to do, what else to tell you there. A little disappointed from Ford there. All right. But they are scheduled this week. It is a retail only, including Raptors, it says, if you have a Raptor allocation dealers. So congratulations to you guys. And they are scheduled for the weeks of June 2nd to the weeks of June 23rd. So there you go. That's all I have for Ranger. Next up is a 25 model year Super Duty. Currently 4,967 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. That's the lowest I've seen it in a while. I don't think I've seen it below 5,000 for a while. We have 20 unscheduled retail orders in order bank for Super Duty, 40 allocations. So we still have plenty of opportunity to take some retail orders. Order banks are open up if you want to do that. This week, they are scheduling at Kentucky Truck Plant for the weeks of May 5th through the weeks of May 19th, and at Ohio for the weeks of May 5th through the weeks of May 26th. And the breakdown on that, I believe, if I'm right, Ohio is mainly your cab and chassis, and that kind of configuration there. A lot of your fleet trucks are built there, whereas Kentucky is usually the ones that have beds on them, dualies, single rear wheel with beds. So, all right. They are needing some F-350 XL, XLT, and Lariat with the 7.3 gas, with the for regular cab and super cabs without the console, without the bucket seats or the console. They also are needing some F-250 and F-350 XL, XLT, or Lariats with the 6.8 liter gas engine with that torque shift G transmission for regular cab and super cab without the bucket seats. So, and then they need some F-350, F-450, F-550, and 600 chassis with the 7.3 liter gas engine. Very limited to exhaust availability for the F-450, also crew cab, and also the 18-inch sparkle silver painted aluminum wheel that's standard on the XLT F-350 single rear wheel. So there you go. Not a lot of constraints there. So there's some platinum and stuff were on there that dropped off this week. So there you go. There's that. All right. Next up is a 25 model year F-150. Currently 5,282 unscheduled retail orders in order bank, and that would include Lightning. So they don't break that out in that number. We have 49 unscheduled retail orders in our order bank with 44 allocations. So we've got a couple that won't get scheduled this month. We actually have 0 Raptors, but we do have some Raptor allocations. A couple of those are Raptor. And we have 2 Lightning allocations as well with 0 Lightning orders. So anyway, all right. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of May 12th to the weeks of June 9th. Just again, another reminder, 5.0 liter STX is a retail only configuration. They need some 3.5 liter EcoBoost engines at the KC assembly plant. So that would be like, I believe, XLTs. And they also need some 3.5 hybrid orders. So there you go. And very limited exhaust availability for the Raptor R. And then also, we didn't get any Raptor R allocations for us, but there you go. Limited availability for the Tremor version, both 401 and 402A, 5.0 liter gas engine, 2.7 liter gas engine, and also the 6-inch extended running board that's included on the bed utility package. So there's some of that information there. And then on the Lightning, limited availability for the Flash, and they are scheduled for the same build dates as well for the Lightning. So, all right, next up is a 25 model year Transit. Currently 1,148 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. We do actually have 1 unscheduled retail orders with 0 allocations this month. The order banks are open up, and they are going to be scheduled this week for the weeks of 5/12 to the weeks of June 2nd. So there you go. That's all I have for scheduling for this week. So again, if you're watching this, we're going to get into scheduling questions in tonight's live stream. We have a fun topic at the beginning of the live stream, but right around about probably around 7 or 8:30 or so, we'll start taking some questions. If you want to come on over and ask them there, or just drop them down below, and I'll answer those questions as soon as I can. Probably not happen tonight, but we'll try to get those responded to you by at least tomorrow for you. If you have any questions on scheduling, that I can probably help you out with and answer those. So drop those down below. Smash that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our other videos. And hopefully you come check it out tonight. We are going to be talking about Bronco Super Celebration, the biggest Bronco event of the year. More Broncos will be there than any other Bronco event across the country. There'll be over 1,000 Broncos there. We're going to talk about it. We've got some people that are going to be attending, including myself. And so we're going to talk about that and see what we have, what's going on, what we could see, different events going on. If you're wanting to go to that, it'll just be a fun time of hanging out, talking about next week's Bronco Super Celebration. So come join us if you can. But otherwise, until your next video, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you on the next video.